I've been called out to this pipework leaking from outside this customer's house. Now it's going to be one of two things, a temperature relief valve gone or a pressure reducing valve gone. We need to go in here, find out what the problem is and see if we can sort it. I think I know what it is, but there's a few little checks we've got to do in the house first to make sure we're diagnosing the right fault and why this pipe is leaking water. I'm Mark, this is Real World Plumbing. Let's go in and get this sorted and stop this pipe from leaking water. Right then, I have just been called out to an emergency job with water gushing through the ceiling. I've got here and they took the pressure off the boiler. Heating system dropped out. But I weren't planning on recording this, so I've left all my recording stuff at home. But I just thought I'd go on my phone, my camera phone, and just show you what's gone on here, because it's a sort of it's one you don't come across a lot, but it just goes to show that it's not just plastic pipes that can blow off or press fit pipes that can, fittings that can blow off, because look at this. Because if I can get my camera in here, it's a really tight, let me just show you. It's a real tight little cubby hole in a factory unit, but let's move that out of the way. So we've got there we go, got a copper fitting here, end feed fitting. This has been in, God, 10 years plus. It's just blown off. Look at this. Look, it looks like this, the pipe work has barely touched here. I'm going to cut this out and put a press fit coupler and a new elbow on. But I just thought, move that light. I just thought I'd show you that, soldered fittings do blow off as well. But yeah, it's just a shame I hadn't got my filming gear to film all of this. So, but then we'll have a look at just what's gone on, because it looks like here it hasn't been soldered, but this has been in 10 years plus. Right then, press fit save the day. So I've cut out, obviously I've cut it out, couple there, elbow on there. Could have cut back there, but I don't think I've got a thumb vent in the van, to be honest. So yeah, that looks all right. Anyway, it looks like that's been soldered, because let me show you exactly what had happened with the other one. So then, there's the elbow. It's right, I'm trying to film this, goes right into a tiny little hole, and it looks like that's barely even. Wow, it just doesn't even look like any solder's run around it. Inside the elbow, let's put it into the light. Yeah, look. I'm massively surprised. Look, you can see where the solder's run round on that one, same as there. Solder's run round, it's fine. Whereas on the bit of pipe, there is literally nothing on it. A tiny little bit there, look. But yeah, I'm massively surprised that's even held half as long as it has. Look, there's a little ring around there where they've scared it with the solder. God, it's like, I dare say the flux was holding that together. Yeah, look, you see it's all blobbed off the bottom. Yeah, very lucky. Popped off like so. But there we go, replaced it with some press fit. Right then, I've just come out to my van to show you a little bit better on what this was. So if you look at that, you've got a lump of solder coming off the bottom here, and you can see on this pipe, that's where that little lump of solder was. So if we marry that up perfectly to how it was, which is like so, and then pull it apart, it was honestly on by about 6 mil from there to there. How that has stayed on like that, I mean, obviously it should have been to here, so all of that has not been held in that fitting. It's just been on that for 10-15 years or so. User error, but copper fittings can fail as well. A lot of people just like to have a go at plastic. Again, plastic will leak if you don't fit it right, copper will leak if you don't fit it right, and press fit will leak if you don't fit it right. Imagine that being on a cold main or a hot pipe that wouldn't shut off obviously when the pressure drops. So there we go. Soldered pipes can fail. Admittedly, it was because it was user error. It weren't soldered properly around it. Right then, before we get into the rest of the video, do me a favor. I'm trying to get the subscriber count on my channel up. For years, we used to get 10,000 subscribers a year. I'm really struggling to get to that 50,000 subscribers. Just over half of the people that watch my content aren't subscribed. So if you enjoy the content that I make and you watch for free, just hit that subscribe button down in the corner. Hit subscribe, give this video a thumbs up. It helps to push my content out there and it allows me to be able to make more content for you to watch for free by hitting that subscribe button. I'd massively appreciate it. So yeah, thank you in advance for getting subscribed. Right then, let's crack on with the next bit and find out why that pipe sticking out the wall was leaking. So then, as I said in the intro, this pipe outside this house, this copper pipe coming out the wall, is leaking water. Now, it's going to either be a temperature valve gone or a pressure reducing valve gone. I think I know what it is because I came out not so long ago and repressurized the hot water cylinder, hoping that was what the issue was. But it clearly wasn't, because it's still leaking. Right then, I came out to this job a few weeks ago because I had a tap in one of the bathrooms I needed to sort out. I was quite limited on time and I specifically came out to do that job. And while I was here, the customer said to me, "Oh, Mark, we've got a little bit of water coming out this pipe outside." So I came up here and basically repressurized the cylinder, or what I thought was going to do the trick. So what you can do sometimes is turn the water off to the cylinder, open the pressure reducing valve, open the taps, and basically reinstall the pressure, the bubble inside this potable tank. Now, I didn't have enough time and I said to them, if it goes again, I think I know what the problem is going to be. It's going to be this here. So they called me and said, yeah, it's still leaking. So what I've done, I've picked up a new 24 litre pressure vessel, potable. It's got to be potable because it is hot water, not central heating. So in essence, the diaphragm inside is made of slightly different material so that you may get a little bit of hot water in your mouth, you know, when you're in the shower or the bath or whatever. So being a potable one, that's why they're different. White ones, and then obviously the red ones of the central heating. I'm sure someone will come in the comments and tell me the complete breakdown of it, but it's basically different. Anything that's water where you could actually ingest it, you're not going to go around drinking central heating water. Whereas in the bath, you may get that. So a white pressure vessel is going in here. Now, I have turned it off. So let me just show you, let me walk you through the way of finding out what this issue is. Let's turn the water back on and refill the hot water cylinder. Now, what this is going to do, in theory, what it should happen is there's a diaphragm inside here, so half of it will fill up with water and then that diaphragm inside will take the pressure, and this should be set to 3 bar. So there's a little way of showing us what's going on with it. So if we let that fill back up, you can hear it doesn't sound hollow, but the best way to check this is, we're getting our little pump, let's turn it on, and without setting it to anything, let's put this on here. Now, what this should be is around 3 bar. It's going to show 3 bar when we screw this on, because, or around 3 bar, that is what it is at the minute. In theory now, if we turn the water off, drain the hot water down, that should stay at 3 bar because that's the setting it should be. I'll show you on the new one. So let's turn the water off. Let's drain the hot side. So we'll open the hot tap and let that completely drain. Now that pressure vessel should stay at 3 bar. It's dropping down because this is full of water. Obviously 3 bar is the incoming main, and it's what the pressure valve is set to. So if that is going over 3 bar, it's going to be tripping the pressure relief valve, which is what it's doing. So that's dropping down. We can open this up as well, just to get rid of any of the water out of it. And then what you can also do as well with that hot water tap is, you can turn that on and that will push more water out the tap. So that'll get rid of all the water in the system. But what I'm going to do now is show you, now with that still connected to the top of this pressure vessel, we're at 0. So there's no pressure inside that pressure vessel at all. So we know that that is knackered. So let me show you by screwing this onto the new one, and it will be 3 bar. So let's get this one out. If I whip this off the top, and if I connect that onto the top, as we screw it on, this will show, there you go, look, 2.95. It's let a little bit out, but what we can do when we fit it back up there, when we swap that one out, we can just make sure that that is at 3 bar. I'll pump it up a little bit. Done, sorted. Right, and that is how you know this one is good and that one's bad. So what we've got to do, with it all drained down, it's fairly simple. What we've got to do is undo these straps off the side and get it swapped out and get the new one in. Flexi on the bottom, just connect back onto that. Now this might have a little bit of water left in it still. Should be good.
A few moments later.
Here you go, a little handy tip if you're changing one of these out. Get your plumb thumbs on there and just pop that. Stop any water coming out while you're changing it over. I thought I had it in the tool bag. I usually have it in a bag when I'm doing radiators, but right, let's get this one back up. Right then, with that now strapped up onto the wall, let's pop the camera like that. We can now take this off here and then get this pipe connected back into it. So if we just pop that on the bottom, tighten it up, and then what I'm going to do is just check the pressure in that pressure vessel once more, just to make sure it's 3 bar. Right then, now with that new pressure vessel on the wall, I want to just quickly reconnect our pump and make sure that we're at 3 bar, which we are. So whip that back off. So we know we're all good there. Right, let's turn this hot water tap off and turn the water back on, and basically repressurize this back up, and it will cause that there to just cause its little bubble, its little pressure bubble that just allows the water to expand when it gets hotter. So if we open that back up like so, and then as it's filling up, hot water's coming out. And therefore now that vessel has got its little expansion bubble in the top of it, just here. So yeah, that's the knackered one, and that'll be full of water as well. There you go, potable pressure vessel swapped out. It is that simple. So if you've got water coming out of your little pipe that's sticking out the wall, and you've got a pressurized hot water cylinder, if there's not one of these passing, if the ton dish isn't running from that point there, chances are it's going to be that. So get your pump on there, pop it on the top, turn your water off, open your taps, and check that you've still got 3 bar inside there. Just check on the front because some of them, the smaller ones, that's the 24 litre one. Some of the smaller ones, the 12 litre ones, or the, I think they do a 16 litre one, maybe slightly less, might be 2 bar, 2.5 bar. But these 24 litre ones are 3 bar. Now that's in, I'm not going to have that issue of that water going out the back. So with that in now, that is a nice little Friday afternoon jobbing job, typical plumber's jobbing job. Again, I've got this one off the back of changing a tap over in that bathroom. Do the little small jobs, they lead on to bigger jobs. Before you know it, there'll be one in a bathroom going in.